chaos of yarn and lost time, fabric flows from chaos supply.
Hi everyone, welcome back, and if you're new here, I'm Lisa and this is my channel What Lisa Crochets, where I share everything that's crochet related in my life. This week we're going to be doing a bit of a market recap of how my market went. So if you didn't see the previous video, it was about the stock that I was taking to market, and we were looking through all my inventory and sorting things into a sale category and some things as staying full price. So we got to there, and then it was quite a long video, so I decided just to end it there. The next step for me was placing out my inventory and taking some photos of how that setup is going to be. There was a couple of reasons for this. I always set my inventory up before a market so I can kind of get an idea of how things are going to lay out on the table and how best to display them. And it also helps me. I generally take a photo of this for myself so that if I'm in a hurry when I get to my market, that I can look in my photos and see, okay, this is what I did at home, and then just set it up and don't have to think about it too much and can just place items out. And it's good to have that as a backup, especially like for my first market. I was really nervous, so that really helped me to kind of have a plan in place already and not have to make it up on the spot. But this market, it was particularly important because I was unwell and I wasn't going to be able to attend myself, and my husband was taking all my items to the market for me and was going to be setting them all up and having to put the price tags out, and he needed a reference point to go from. So that's what we did first, and I'll show you some footage of that now. So that was the full price table I showed you first, and I added up the inventory for that, and that came to around $800 worth of inventory on that table. And I'll show you the second one now. So that was the sale table set up, and all of the items on that, the inventory came to a price of $600. Now I decided to keep the two tables separate, the full price items and the sale items separate. One, so that would be easier for my husband, so that I could put them in separate containers for transport and setting up. And that he would be able to see at easy glance what was marked down and what wasn't, but also for the customers, because there was quite a bit of inventory marked down, so it makes it really clear to them that there would be this side of the table was full price and this side was marked down. So yeah, that is how I decided to go with that, to make it easier for everyone. So if you're wondering how I price things for my market or show the prices of things, I started off at my very first market using some little homemade tags, very basic, just a piece of cardboard with the price written on them, tied around the item with a string. But after a little while, I decided to look at some other methods, and so I have a real mixed method of displaying the prices. A lot of the items I will use these little chalkboards that come with like a little stopper to help them stand up, that I can also place in the item. And the reason that I like these is they're supposed to be reusable, but what I've found with them is that they're really just, I don't think they really have chalkboard paint on them. I think it's more like a black paint, and yes, if you use chalk on it, it would wipe off because chalk wipes off most surfaces. But with my liquid chalk pens, it doesn't really come off again. But I plan to paint over them so that I can reuse them again for other markets, and use a chalkboard paint on that so that they will wipe off. A lot of these I reuse them again. So this one is for my big turtles that are just behind me here. And I've made a lot of those, and I just have to pop one of these back in it. So they've been a really popular item for me, and I've been able to reuse this sign a lot, and it saves me time having to write things out all the time and attach tags. So I am happy with using that for the markets. The other thing that I sometimes use is just popping a little tag on the table like this that can stand up. So what have I got here? This is the bird's nests and the birds with the little worms. And I'll just sit that in front of a whole group of items together. And then sometimes I use these little mini easels, and we'll write a big sign on those as well. I've got all of these items from Kmart, so if you're looking for them for yourself, that's where you can find them. In the future, I may, like I've discussed, use up my own tags and things now that I have those, but these have worked really well. And for someone like myself who needs to really focus on how they use their energy during the day, not having to do a repetitive task is very helpful for me. Because I know, okay, it's already done. I write one tag and that's gonna be displayed for multiple items rather than writing each individual thing a tag. So that's been working well. But also my markets are inside at the moment. So, well, I've had one outdoor market, but thankfully that was sort of undercover and we didn't have to deal with wind. But yeah, I have indoor markets at the moment, so it may be different, and I may choose other methods if I was having outdoor markets. So my husband had a good drive over because, as I've said before, the market is in the next town over. So he had a great drive over, no issues. We've had some wild weather in Australia at the moment, and we're at the bottom end of Australia, so it didn't really get to us. But we have had times where we've had to worry about trees on the road and things like that. But he got there safely, and the weather was quite fine for us. And when he got there, he had a little bit of a spanner in the works for him. It wasn't really a big deal, but they'd allocated a different set of tables than we normally have, and it was in the corner, and it made the tables an L shape. And he's quite a meticulous person, so it did throw him because my display was for two tables, kind of long ways. But he was fine. He just managed to kind of adjust tiny little bits so that it worked, and that went well. I checked in with him as the morning was going along, and he said it was a very quiet market, which had me a little bit worried. I thought, you know, if he goes all the way over there and we don't do very many sales, it would be a little bit disappointing, but it also would just be a massive waste of time for him. But thankfully things picked up a bit, and we did get some sales in for the day. So that was really good. And I'll let you know about those sales now if you like. So I might just put in some photos of how my husband set up the tables so that you can see. So here they are. So as you can see, he did a fantastic job. So I might show you the footage of the table and pop in all the items that sold off each individual table. 3 chicks sold and a medium chicken. The little blue wren and egg sold. One of the fish sold. The caterpillar sold, the little pop-top frog, the cactus and the daisy. So that was the full price table, and the total value of all those items came to $142. So we sold a dinosaur, an octo, and the seal and the cat. We sold the boho basket up there. We sold Potato Bear and Trunk the Turtle. We sold 2 of the rainbow bag tags and 1 of the mushrooms. And we sold the white snake there. And that was a sale table, and the total value of all those items came to $129. So in total, I had 21 items sell, and that came to a total of $271, which is a really good price. That's kind of the lowest market that I've had so far. I've had one other that's kind of basically equal to that. So 270 is the lower side for my markets, but I think that still is a really good price. I watched somebody's video, and I'm not sure who it was. I'm kind of thinking it might have been Refined Vibes or Amanda Mao. I can't really remember who said this, but they said that what they look for in a market is, is about the market, the fee of the market being about 10% of what you expect to make at that market. So for my market, it's $15 for me for 2 tables. So it's $10 for the first table and $5 for every extra table, and I usually just stick to 2 tables. So for that price, anything over $150 I think is really good, and considering our small population. So I was really, really, really happy with that. If you can see, we had a lot of the sale items did move, so that was good. Quite a lot off that table, so I was really happy about that, and I'm hoping that at my next market I can move a few more of those along, but we'll see how that goes. So the total price was $271 that we made at the market, and then we have to take off our table fee of $15, and so that leaves a total of $256 in profit, and $55 of that was on Squarespace. And the fee for Squarespace, if you're wondering, so for that they take a percentage of what you make. So for that $55, their percentage of that was 88 cents. So if you're worried about fees with Squarespace, they are very, very minimal. So it really is worth investing at. I find that if people have to go and look for an ATM or something, the likelihood if they're going to make it back to you for that sale, unless they really want that, they may just get away and think, oh, it's not worth the hassle, or do I really need it? So having that available to them there really is beneficial. We've had a few issues with our little tiny square, the little card reader, but we find that the app on our phone always works. So you don't even have to invest in that little square card reader thing if you don't want to. The app on your phone, if you have the right type of phone, like a more modern phone, works just as well, if not better. I'm dealing with because of my rural location, dealing with not great network coverage. So that kind of impacts on, I think, sometimes how that little Square reader works and how Square can work for me sometimes. I do have issues with service dropping in and out and things like that. But I mean, if you're in a metropolis kind of area, you won't have those issues. But anybody who lives out of the cities like I do will know what that's all about. And it's unavoidable, unfortunately. But yeah, still is very worth investing in, or just getting the app version of it for your markets. Okay, I just jumped back on. Sorry, the lighting might be different because I remembered something I forgot about the market. I actually had two orders put in as well while at the market. So one of them was for the Trunk the Turtle. So I did take one along, and it was on the markdown table because I hadn't really been selling them very well before Christmas, and I only had one left because I gave a couple away. And the one that I had left sold, and then later somebody came up and they had been wanting to buy one, and they'd seen them at previous markets, and then I didn't have them. So they put an order in for one. And then I had another stall holder there who's really after a Tasmanian tiger to give to their friend. So they've asked me to crochet a Tasmanian tiger for them. So I'll be doing that to take along to the next market as well. So yeah, it was good. We also had a couple of orders put in as well as what we sold. So that's a great start for next market. So I hope I've covered everything about that market for you that you may be interested in knowing. It it was a fairly successful market, but on the lower side of the markets that I normally do, and but that's okay. Not every market's going to be a big market. Sometimes you have quiet ones, and I feel like at this time of the year, money is still quite tight for people. Like we still are recovering from Christmas, and a lot of bills come up in the beginning of the year. People also holiday, and there's just a lot of things that happen that make us not spend as much during this time of the year. And I'm very grateful that I have some customers who really enjoy my products, and they come back nearly every month. So I don't think I would do as well without those particular customers supporting my business. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, we'll see how we go next market. It will be a market just before Easter, so I do plan on doing some stock for that. I haven't done an Easter market before. I started my markets later in the year. I can't really remember when my first market was. I have to look at that. But yeah. I think I started Father's Day, after Father's Day. Is that September? Can't remember. So yeah, it was just before Father's Day that I started the market, or on Father's Day, I can't remember, but it was later in the year. So I haven't done an Easter market, and I'm really excited to participate in that. I'm not sure if people will buy the Easter stuff or not. At Christmas time, I thought maybe Christmas items might be really popular, but they really weren't. One of my markets, which was in my own town, I sold a couple of Christmas things, but at my regular market, not so much. So it may be the same with Easter things, but I'm going to do them anyway, and there's something that I could store away until next Easter if they don't sell. So we'll see how they go. Or I could give them away to my nieces as well. So, but we'll see how we go. I don't want to have too little of stock, so yeah, I do want to have a good range and a good amount for people of varying price ranges. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll tune in for next week. If you're not subscribed yet, please think about subscribing, so that really helps me reach new audiences and grow this community. So that would be much appreciated. And if you could leave me a comment, let me know if you have any great Easter patterns that you think would be good for my market, or let me know what you've been working on during this little recap. All right, bye.